More, I'm joined by our UK correspondent, Jonathan Sacerdoti from London. Jonathan, great to have you. We're just going to first bring up some statistics that we can refer to here, the Community Security Trust report. Let's talk through this trend that it's showing us.
Well, as you can see, Tracy, there were 1,382 anti-Semitic incidents nationwide in the UK in 2017. And that's a 3% increase from the year before. But perhaps more worryingly, there was a 34% rise in the number of anti-Semitic incidents classed as violent, with 145 logged in total. And the report says that most incidents related to verbal abuse of Jews in public.
All right, now you're saying that it's worrying. Is this something, though, that should cause concern? As in, is this actually representing a rise in this anti-Semitic behaviour, or are countries just getting better at reporting it?
Well, that's always an unknown and an important one. Now, as anti-Semitism has entered into the public attention more, it might be the case that people are more willing or more able to report incidents. But even if that is the case, what this means, I suppose, is that we're simply discovering that high levels of anti-Semitism might have already existed but have previously gone unreported. All
right, so what could be behind this in the UK specifically?
Well, in the UK, the report from the CST points to two sources in particular. One is the far right and one is Islamist or Muslim-influenced anti-Semitism. In previous years, there had been spikes in CST figures because of activity going on in Israel, for example, wars in the Gaza Strip. But since the last one of those, there has still been an escalation year on year, so that's very difficult to put it down to that anymore.
All right, now let's jump into Europe. In France, the Prime Minister is saying that anti-Semitism is showing a new face in the country. What can you tell us?
Yes, French Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron denounced an attack on a Jewish child this week. On Tuesday, an 8-year-old Jewish boy wearing a kippah was attacked by teenagers who ran away after tripping him up and kicking him to the ground. Police are said to be investigating, but there have been no arrests, and local prosecutors are treating the incident as an anti-Semitic crime. And only last month, a 15-year-old girl had her face slashed by an unidentified assailant, also in Sarcelles near Paris. So an official French report published this week has shown that while racist incidents in France declined considerably in 2016 overall, violent acts targeting Jews increased by 25%.
All right, now just very briefly, we also know that when it comes to Germany, the government itself is raising the siren, saying we're seeing an increase in anti-Semitic sentiment, both, as you say, because of the push towards the right wing, but also when it comes to the influx of refugees from countries that are hostile to Israel. Germany's generally pretty good at targeting these things. How can it turn this around?
Well, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has committed to creating a new position of Commissioner on Anti-Semitism under the new government she hopes to form by March. Germany's Jewish community numbers more than 200,000 now, but since 2015, more than 1 million, mostly Muslim immigrants, have entered the country, and there has been a dramatic rise in anti-Semitic acts on German soil, with some of these Jewish leadership figures there now afraid to hold events in public places without police protection.
Unfortunately, Jonathan, we have to go out for a break, and I'm going to have to cut you off. But of course, worrying trends we're seeing across Europe. A lot more to come here on